A slum is a highly populated urban residential area consisting of densely packed housing units of weak building quality and often associated with poverty. Coined as a term in 1840, people will associate slums with developing or poorer countries. However, whenever a location has poor access to clean water, sanitation, or electricity, or the houses are made of corrugated metal, the place is a slum, and they are all over the earth. Africa has its share of slums too. Anyways, here are the slums of Africa. Like, subscribe, and share please to help us. Thanks and enjoy. Because of the economic divide in countries, slums usually begin on the outskirts of a city. But as time goes on, the city may expand and swallow up the slum. Kibera in Kenya is described as the largest urban slum on the continent, sitting at over 6 kilometers from Nairobi with a population of 800,000 to 1 million people. The living conditions remain poor, as there are some locations in the slum where 500 people would share one toilet. The area is divided into 13 villages and has a train track running through the slum. The average resident lives on $2 per day. However, that statistic does not account for the economic equivalents in dollars and shillings. With the high population, crime rates and unemployment will be high. Funny enough, the land is owned by the government, who have ignored supplying electricity or plumbing to the settlement. Due to the nature of the location, many houses have no road access, while having no foundation, which could lead to building collapses if a flood happened. It is one of the most studied slums in the world due to its size and in a weird way iconic in nature. Not all slums are on land, as in Lagos, Makoko is a slum that dwells on water. With a population close to 90,000, many of the buildings are built on stilts on a lagoon, leaving the main materials to be wood. With the nature of the location, fishing would be relied upon, though the waters are populated with feces. There was once a period when the Lagos state government demolished a portion of the stilts in the slum, causing 3,000 people to be homeless. The unique state of this slum has made some refer to it as the Venice of Africa. Up north in Egypt, Manshiat Nassa or Garbage City is a slum with about 60,000 residents. The location is notable with garbage literally everywhere, which is by design. Cairo has a poor waste management system, hence much of the garbage is dumped in Garbage City. Once the garbage is dumped, many of the slum's inhabitants rustle through the garbage for any objects they could reuse or recycle. Surprisingly, almost 90% of the garbage is recycled, which is much better than recycling in most other countries in the world. The government has not done much to help the area. However, they have hired private companies to deal with the trash, resulting in competition for the slum dwellers. A hidden gem in the area is the Cave Church. I'll not say much, but just show you the church itself. In Ghana, there are two slums right next to each other, as Old Fadama and Agbogloshi are both in the capital of Ghana. Agbogloshi is known as a place that is filled with automobile or electronic scrap. It's alleged that the e-dump that arrives here come from all over the world, and naturally as a result of the electrical waste, life expectancy is low in the area, as it's one of the most toxic places on earth. Old Fadama, on the other hand, is a slum developed by refugees fleeing from the north of Ghana, or the middle class who unfortunately lost their homes. Moving more westward, Clara Town sits on a swamp in Monrovia, the capital of Liberia. It even has an area in it called Struggle Community, an area which is flooded several months of the year. The slum is a notable one because the only African Ballon d'Or, George Weah, comes from Clara Town. Not far is West Point, another location affected by environmental degradation, which has pushed habitants further inland, pushing the shacks tighter together to the point that you have to walk sideways to move through the buildings. In Sierra Leone, at the bottom of the hill in Freetown sits Krube, a location so unsafe homes are built on layers of garbage. As a result, these homes are not stable and are vicious victims of flooding. Diarrhea is the most common health complaint, and recently a fire ravaged a portion of the community, and its effects are still visible today. Down in Namibia, Katutura translates to the place where people do not want to live. Established in 1961, this location was a result of the black population being forced from another location in the capital of Namibia, a location which has turned into a suburb. As it became a place that new residents hated, a protest was eventual, an event in which some people were killed by firing police officers. Today, a suggestion has been floating around to change the name and aim to detach the slum from its history and reputation. In South Africa, there are multiple slums. However, the notable slums are Khayelitsha, Coronation Park, and Soweto. Khayelitsha is one of the top 5 largest slums on earth, with 2/3 of its population living in shacks. Then there's Coronation Park, which was a slum consisting of over 300 white South Africans. However, they were relocated recently to Pango Camp in Monrovia. Squatters here only pay for electricity but do not have direct access to water. Then there is Soweto, located in Johannesburg, which is one of the most popular locations on the continent. With its name deriving from southwestern townships, Soweto was a product of apartheid, as it was designated for the black people of South Africa. Its historical value to the nation keeps it a popular place for slum tourism, as slums are dispersed in the township. There are way more slums on the continent, however they are hard to keep track of, so the most common ones are the ones mentioned in the video. Due to curiosity and the rise of social media, slums have become popular, with slum tourism becoming common, either for educational or philanthropic reasons. However, slum tourism has also been criticized as poverty porn, a form of entertainment to gain profit. Others argue that it creates jobs and income for local hotels and restaurants. All hope should not be lost though with these slums. The governments of these countries are actually trying to improve the living situations, which sometimes comes at a price. Some governments are relocating the inhabitants and looking to place them in better buildings, while others are attempting to eradicate the slums entirely. Like Morocco, a country that has started Cities Without Slums, a 5-year program to prevent slums. If you know of any other slums on the continent, don't hesitate to let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Will we see you in the next one?